Welcome back to JMC Live. We're covering about the future of sex education in America and the world. 2 Peter 2:9. If this is so, then the Lord knows how to rescue godly men from trials and to hold the unrighteous from the day of judgment while continuing their punishment. James 1:12. Blessed is the man or woman who perseveres under trials, because he has stood the test. He will receive the crown of life that God has promised to those who love him. Today I want to come to you more about sex ed. The UN, as I said a moment ago, is wanting to teach masturbation to people as young as 5. Planned Parenthood is teaching people as young as 10, and GLSEN is involved. There is a list of recommended books from kindergarten all the way up, and I'll say this again, that teaches about homosexuality, meaning you're in the bathroom, using the bathroom, and the janitor comes in and fills you up. They're teaching about, heavy petting to animals. They're talking about having sex with your teachers and pastors. And these are recommended books through GLSEN. GLSEN. I'm not kidding you today. This is not a simple, highlighted topic. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you guys informed and covered as much as possible on this subject. It's going to take more than an hour to get everything in, and I'm going to do the best possible. Like I said, the UN report, I'll pull up the UN report later for you guys. Planned Parenthood is on Fox News. The UK stuff, we're going to jump right back into another UK story. 12-year-old Saudi Arabia girl is in a divorce battle with her 80-year-old husband. As I was telling you guys a minute ago, and I have friends on Facebook, and I don't want to offend them with this subject. They talked about dowries, and in Sicily, I do believe, where you would pay monies so you could get married, and kids were getting married as young as 12, 14, 15 years old. And back then, families stayed together, so either they moved in with the son's family or they got their own money. Because they had the money, they were able to prepare and take care of each other, and they worked on the fields. Well, now, here in Saudi Arabia, this 80-year-old guy ends up buying this girl. She's 12 years old, and she's trying to get a divorce. She was married to her father's cousin last year. The dowry was 85,000 rials, which is 14,500 according to euros, and then consummated the marriage. The girl's mother filed for divorce, but withdrew her case without explanation this month. Human Rights Commission has been interviewed on this case, and they said their main concern is the safeguard of the child's rights. It is in the hands of the court, but the commission is firmly on the child's side. They're trying to draft the law in Saudi Arabia to establish a minimum age for marriage between 16 and 18. Short-term measure activists are pressing the government to ban notaries from sealing marriages of girls under 18. If you know, in Africa and in Asia, kids as young as 10 are getting married. They're getting sold and bought and transferred over to the United States and other countries. Here in even Ohio, right down the street, it's happened. Girls are getting put into the strip clubs. They're underage. They're doing stuff online. I work with an organization called Child Predator Busters, and we see this stuff day in and day out here in the United States. Kids are being sold. Now that with the economy is so bad, it's crazy. Like I said, we want to take your phone calls today. I'm real interested in knowing, what do you think? Should we be funding Planned Parenthood? As you know, Planned Parenthood was originally established as a racist term to control population for minorities such as black and Hispanics. One of the largest Planned Parenthoods just opened in Texas, and it is smack dab in the middle of a Hispanic black community. I really want to know what you guys think. You guys call in to our number. We got it on the screen here. And let me know if you want to email us. You can email us too, because I know some people aren't too happy about doing that. But I'm gonna type in the chat the email so you guys can actually do that. I mean, I really want to know beyond the fact of what you're thinking. I know the general thing is if you've had family members that have done this, either you support it and say, well, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, they got married at 12 and 14, and they've been married for 60 years. We're not talking about situations where, it was a planned marriage. I mean, yeah, planned marriages happen, and other things like that happen. Let's go back to the UK. Liverpool schools are offering pregnancy testing to kids.
Not teenagers.
Not teenagers. We're talking about as young as 10. Girls tested as age 11. Liverpool NHS Primary Care Trust has confirmed that plans are afoot to establish sexual health clinics in 5 of the city's secondary schools. Secondary school means 10 years old and around that age. Norman Wells, the Family Education Trust, said sexual health clinics on school premises send out the message that it is normal for school children to engage in sexual activity. In the past, natural inhibitions combined with fear of pregnancy, legal proceedings, and being found out by parents offered a power disincentive to underage sex. Confidential health clinics in schools are part of a mix that is removing the restraints which previously limited underage sexual activity. There's already a free confidential, this is Dr. Adrian Rogers, testing and available for every surgery and planning clinic. Offering this kind of service in the school setting is going to promote promiscuity. It is a complete waste of time, and money will provide counterproductive. This is in the UK. And for you guys know, the UK standards on morals and stuff is not as high depending on what subject matter you talk about here in America. But when it comes to sex ed, there is another story that we will cover that shows the light, that shows the truth of the darkness. Because I'm telling you, people don't seem to understand that when you start talking about condoms and the morning after pill and
military bases are going to start carrying that now.
Yes, military bases are
U.S.
starting
military
to carry.
bases and places like
when
that.
you start saying all these things and covering all these things, what happens is you're giving people a justified excuse to perform a sex act without any consequences. There's medication for most STDs. There's pills and scrapes and stuff, DNCs and all that stuff, if you get pregnant. And it's cheaper than having to giving birth. You don't have to pay the consequences for having a kid. And being a Christian, I really want to know, how much do you teach a child about sex? What is acceptable behavior? That's what I want to know today. We're going to take a break, and we'll still take your calls, we'll still take your emails, and we will return, and I'll cover some alternatives to sex education.